afternoon, members of the committee and all the ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for giving me this precious opportunity. I am here today to testify in support of this bill. My name is Gyurme Dorje. Sometimes I am known by my religious title, Lhoppön Rinpoche. I'm a Tibetan Buddhist teacher, resident of Westminster, Colorado, citizen of the United States, and a Tibetan refugee whose family was slaughtered. They completely destroyed my family name, Rechung, in Tibet due to genocide. Over many decades, the Chinese communists carried out the genocide of my people in Tibet. Although it is not as well documented as the Holocaust, and not many genocides are, many families and tribes suffered. They know the real history. It is written in their hearts. In my own family, I respectfully share a brief story of my ancestors that I have heard from my late father, Lhoppön. My great-great-uncle, Lhoppön, who was the ruler of our tribe, was dismembered in public. They killed him by pulling apart 2 arms and 2 legs with 4 horses in public. My great-grandmother, Yankatsodi, led and fought in a defensive uprising to protect our people, land, and culture. My grandfather starved to death in prison, and my grandmother and aunt were punished with what was called the Black Hat. They were publicly scorned and made examples of. They could not look at anyone and had to always look down. They died in public from starvation. In the mid-1950s, my father joined the Tibetan Defenders of the Faith, the volunteer groups of Tibetan guerrilla fighters, and fought for several years. In 1959, His Holiness the Dalai Lama was arrested in Lhasa. At that time, my father and close to 1 million people from all over Tibet were forced to flee the country. His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama was rescued by the Trichigandu Tibetan guerrilla fighters with the help and support of the American CIA. Only 110,000 out of almost 1 million who attempted to escape survived to join the Dalai Lama in India, where they took refuge and slowly began restoring their culture. The International Commission of Jurists estimate nearly 1.2 million Tibetans out of a population of 6 million were killed through armed conflict and famine. The Buddhist religion was labeled a disease to be eradicated. Even now, since 2009, 156 Tibetans have self-immolated in Tibet in protest of China's cultural genocide. I am a descendant of this family. At 5-year-old, by my own choice and with my family's blessings, I entered the monastery for 25 years. I studied with many great masters, include the Dalai Lama, who left Tibet carrying sacred texts in their arms, not for fear of their lives, but with the hope and aspiration of preserving our culture and religion. They taught us the Buddhist message of love and compassion, teaching myself and many young students not to hate anyone, but instead to practice equanimity and love for all sentient beings, while holding our history close. This is my life's work and my life's mission. In 2001, after completing my studies in the monastery, I came to the United States of America in In 2004, I founded a nonprofit Buddhist organization called Mipam Shedra. Our mission is Mipam Shedra promotes the preservation and practice of Tibetan Buddhism for the benefit of all sentient beings. In 2017, when I became a citizen and read the American Constitution in preparation for my test, I was deeply moved at how beautiful it was. There were many times tears came to my eyes as I learned more about how this great country was governed. However, we still have work to do. I have recently faced resistance and fear of different cultures and religions in my own community. The story of my people and all stories of persecution must be taught in our schools. Children must know the history of everyone making up this great country. They cannot repeat the past and learn to welcome the variety of peoples on this earth. Based on my family's history with genocide and on behalf of the Interfaith Alliance of Colorado, I believe passing this bill will benefit the future generations in Colorado. It will help them to be more accepting of all cultures and let all diversity flourish, including my Tibetan culture. And then also lastly, my father always said, true history cannot be carried away by rivers, cannot be buried by dirt, cannot be burned by fire, cannot be blown away by winds, and cannot be disappeared in space. It will remain forever. Thank you very much for your time today, and I welcome to any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Welcome.
Thank you.